That should massively help us with our storage issues. There we go. Wonderful. Now the yaks should be doing okay. Ah, glorious. Right, there we are. Now we want to get rid of this ramp here, followed by this ramp. Then we'll ramp down along there. In fact, we kind of want to start digging ramps down all along here. There we go. We'll slowly make this area ready for us. Want to be on the right level here. Yeah, we'll pull that right back. Right, get rid of all this as well. Takes a lot of work to completely terraform an area, unfortunately. Uno38. Abak, I'm delighted to see you playing Gnomoria. Loved your YouTube series. It got me into the game. Oh, that's very nice of you to say. Little guy in a sombrero. Pro tip. If you're typing something and you're going to end it with, am I going to get timed out for typing this? Don't type it. Oh no! Oh no! Scallywags! Oh well, I'll have to let you finish now. Everyone is asleep. We've got no fodder. What? Oh, that's fine. There's actually no straw in there. What? What? Oh no, that is. You lied to me, game. There's plenty of straw in there. You lie, you. Looks like there's a bit of a discussion about programming going on in chat. Alright, let's get all of these ramps removed. All the way back. Then I'm going to have to build out the walls up there, frustratingly. Because I was a derp and didn't count the tiles before I started just pulling them down. Ramp down around here. Now, I'm thinking the main stairwell will be here. One going up, one going down. Yeah, we'll have a little room. It'll have just a simple spiraling staircase. Not quite as epic as Castle Goat's main mine stairwell was, but still, it'll be good. It'll be serviceable. It'll do the job. Right, we've got the kitchen. Fantastic. Can we do anything? No, we cannot. Ah. Okay, well, the next thing we need to do then. We've not got much food, so we do actually need to start foraging. In fact, we're actually really low on food. Agriculture! I would like you very much to forage. Go forth and forage all of the foods. All of the foods, I say. There we are. That should do as well. Evil Manix, the dwarfian gnomish way is to discuss massive mega projects and then make them work. Yes, absolutely. Steejo. Kamina the Gnome. There are some great YouTube series on programming if you're really interested. Very easy to get into it, to be honest. Yes, that is absolutely true. There are remarkable amounts of actual lessons available online. Not just in YouTube videos, but actual sort of like courses that you can go on that are free. Quite a lot of stuff in the Khan Academy, actually. You could pick up things on programming, but there are an enormous amount of tutorials. Absolutely, almost an unending supply of tutorials on programming. It is not a difficult hobby to get into, as long as you have the self-discipline to actually put the time in and learn the stuff, because that's obviously where things get a little bit harder. And our pioneers are asleep. Well, dread. On the plus side, we are actually starting to get things moving up there. Oh, my lord, someone's moving quickly. Egad. Well done, you. You've definitely had your Weetabix. And are all of the things finished? No, not quite yet. Right, well, we need a still, I would say. We're not going to be using it anytime soon, but we do need one. Well, actually, a butcher shop would be a better one. Table, chair, and any knife. So once again, we want a marble table and a marble knife blade, and then a marble knife. We've already well, actually, no, we don't have a hilt at the moment. We do, however, have a stick. So we can make the hilt straight away, and then did we use it was a pine chair. Okay, we'll go with a pine chair as well. There we go. Go forth. Jaradan, how about some wheelbarrows? Oh my lord, I completely forgot about wheelbarrows. Very well said. Very well said. We need some sticks. Let's get another 2 sticks. Well, actually another 4 sticks. Then make the wheelbarrows themselves. Again, pine planks, pine sticks. No, we want to cancel that. We want 2 wheelbarrows. That should help things along just a tad. Heuristic, what language do you recommend for game design? Well, the thing is, as far as game design goes, in many cases, you can use a pre-built game engine like Game Maker. I know some people balk at that, but Game Maker is actually a fantastically powerful engine these days. In terms of my recommendations for any language, though, I tend to recommend what I know best, and that's C#, C++. I feel they're very powerful languages. There's, of course, also Java. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Java. It is write once, run anywhere, but it's also a little bit of write once, debug everywhere, which can be a bit frustrating, especially when you're just starting out. Alright, let's remove this ramp as well. Oh dear. We may have been silly there. Well, actually no, we've got scaffolds. Another fantastic addition to this game. Let's build out the wall around there, like so. Then we'll build a scaffolding, and then, scaffold, then we'll build the floor above that layer. No, don't want to remove the floor, want to remove the ramps. We don't want our enemies to have any means to climb up onto our walls. So we want terrain, scaffolding. I don't care what plank they use for this, because we're going to be just tearing it down anyway. Oh, autosave. And where's build? Build, terrain, floor. We'll just go with soil floor again. There's no reason to get fancy outside until we've actually got a place that can sustain itself. And Cryer Abattoir. Although for a beginner C++ might be a bit steep, that is true. There is truth in that. It depends really on your discipline, and also how well you get along with programming. Some people just get along with it well. I did. I just had the right sort of mind for programming. I just taught myself C out of a book, and then taught myself C++ out of a book, and just kept on teaching myself more and more. I would say the biggest thing that will hold you back is discipline. I know that some people don't like hearing that, but it really does come down to if you're willing to put the time in, and you do have to put the time in, but if you do, and you just keep at it, then you can do anything, realistically. I don't believe that anyone is incapable of learning to program. Fantastic. We're starting to bring in some of our own crops now. All the strawberries are ripening. Probably won't be too much longer for the wheat as well. Right, well, we've got the unfortunate problem right now. We've got an awful lot of gnomes who have just got jobs, and they're not doing any one specific thing. They're doing a little bit of everything. And that does kind of exacerbate the problem after a while. I do almost want to see if we can find any animals out there to send out to our gnomes to go and fight, but honestly, I don't want to fight a monitor lizard, I was about to say. Well, actually, a monitor lizard might be a good one to try on. No, we'd probably have a much better chance against an unarmed goblin. Come to think of it. We'll fight a lizard if we absolutely have to, but ideally, not when everyone is half asleep. Tiny Medwin, I'm really scared of programming, but I have to tackle it sometime soon. Why do you have to tackle it, first and foremost? But secondly, honestly, there's nothing to be scared of. Although I say, have discipline and, you put the time in, do it at your own pace. I don't mean by that you must work X many hours a day or anything like that, but rather, don't give up. That is probably the single biggest hurdle to learning anything, is that if the progress doesn't come quick and easily, quite a lot of people seem to just be like, well, I'm not getting anywhere with this, I'll give up and do something else. And quite a lot of the time, I find that if you just don't give up, if you just keep working at it, even if you're not making progress initially, progress will come in time. It's the same with anything. Art, for example. I say this a lot, and Metasapia has heard me saying this. The amount of times that I'm inclined to give up a drawing halfway through, I'm like, this is really not going where I wanted it to go. I've not got the dimensions right. It feels like this is going to be such a slog to get through. But over the years, I've learned that just don't say no at that point, because I used to. And I had like a million unfinished drawings, but at the point that I learned to just, if it looks bad halfway through, just keep going. The worst thing that could happen is it'll still look bad when you're finished. Oh well, you've lost a couple of hours. It's not really that much. But 9 times out of 10, it actually ends up looking fine. It actually ends up, sometimes I can work it into something else if I really was having trouble getting it to look like what I wanted. But 9 times out of 10, it does actually end up looking the way I wanted it to in the end. And as long as I don't give up on it, then, I'll get there. It just takes a bit of time. And at this point, with practice, you end up with that kind of like, halfway through it's not going right, far less often. It's just that in the beginning, you're going to have that all the time. That's what I meant by discipline. There we go. Right, we're starting to get things cleared up. I am going to start making some coal. Oh, wow, really? We're that low on logs? Oh, my lord. Scallywags. I need to chop down trees. Fell. Ooh, no. Fell all of the trees. Well, don't actually fell them all. In fact, fell the ones further away from us. That way, the ones close to us can be harvested later in an emergency. Also, fell all of these apple trees. Also, collect all of the apples. Stejo, Avak, best advice for anyone wanting to be a YouTuber as well. Yes, it's honestly, the whole thing of just don't give up. It's just flat out good advice pretty much for anything. Because almost nothing will go right the first time or initially, unless you're just very talented. Touch wood, with programming, I really clicked with programming. My mathematics teacher said that I have a warped way of thinking that makes me bad at math but good at programming, because for various reasons, you know, if someone said x plus x equals something, I mean x, I'm trying to think of a good example now. Like x equals x plus 2. In programming, that makes sense. In maths, it doesn't. I would struggle with things like that in maths. It made quadratic equations a little bit of a minefield for me. But you just get better at that with practice as well. Don't give up at maths. Don't give up at anything. But I clicked with programming, so I never really found it that difficult to work with. But there were lots of things that I did. Art, for example, that was just... I was stubborn with art. I became good at art because I just was too proud to stop trying to be good at art, basically. My father was very good at art. So I was trying to follow in his footsteps a little bit. Right, we've got the butcher. We've got nothing to butcher. We need the well now, though, because we've got 62 drinks, so that's not too bad. But I would like a well. So let's go ahead. Workshops, food and drink, well. We are going to need any block and any plank. 4 of. Very well. Remove floor. In the middle there. Fantastic. Belial, Avak, you need to digitize your art so that we can all see it. Wow. Some of my art is digitized. I'm not very good at digital medium, that is drawing digitally. I'm trying to get better at that. But some of it is. For example, my avatar. Some of it is just flat out too emo for me to show anyone. I was a troubled youth. Okay, I'm liking where we've got all of this now. I want to start pulling some walls down. So remove ramps around... Oh, not all the way up. Let's go right down so I'm not removing it from too high above. There we go, that'll do. And also here as well. Chat is being very, very intellectual at the moment. I'm enjoying the conversation going on in the chat right now. Let's get a well going. We will make it out of birch. That will be our food, our drink concerns taken care of. And fantastic, we've got all the straw ready now as well. Glorious. Unfortunately, we lack a bone needle, so we cannot yet make any at Clothier's workshop. Sumi, how do you eat your cookies with your tea? I put the cookie in my mouth. I close my mouth. I use my teeth to apply mechanical pressure to start breaking down the food. Once it is suitably pulverized, I swallow. And then I take a sip of tea. If you're asking me, do I dip my cookies in my tea? No. That would make my tea sweet. It would also make it be full of the taste of cookie dough, or chocolate chips, or any number of other things that shouldn't be in your tea. My tea should taste of tea. My cookies should taste of cookies. Well, I'm sure cookies that tasted of tea would be awesome. However, the only way to do that is to ruin your tea. So no. Yeah, Scion of Doom. Sorry, not Scion of Doom. Apollo. That's what milk is for. Yes, you can totally dip your cookies in milk. That is absolutely allowed. Stejo. Havoc, dunking for the win. No, you cannot dunk in tea. Oh, my lord, you're polluting your tea. Though, I suppose if you're the sort of person who has sugar with their tea anyway, I guess it wouldn't actually be that much of a difference for you. I don't have sugar in my tea, so the act of putting a cookie in my tea would just make it unbearably sweet. I'd still drink it, I just wouldn't enjoy it as much. Because, I'm not going to waste my tea. I'm really pleased to see all of this wheat. That means I can make some beds. I mean, it's not going to be very good beds, but at least it will be beds. So straw beds. 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do that. We'll keep the rest for anything else we might need. Then my gnomes can actually... it's still not going to be a good sleep, but at least it'll be a sleep. I've got loads of logs. Use the pine logs. Craft up to 5 coal at any one time. And then I'll start putting some torches around the place. Okay, we're getting there now. Little by little. We've managed to pull this down on this side. I would like to take away the ramps over here. Actually, you know what? Let's dig a ramp down. We'll allow that to connect up to here. Dig that down, dig that down. Then dig... You know what? Actually, don't dig a ramp down. Dig a hole. There and there. The rest of this can be ramped down. Then I can get rid of the ramps on that side. Yes, that seems to work well for me. I approve. Nubalicious, someone should make a video of themselves dunking a cookie into a cup of tea and send it out. Why would you torture me like this, Nubalicious? That's cruel! My goodness. That isn't dapper at all. And assuming the Metasapier is actually talking about tea and not cookies, I agree with her statement there. I've yet to find the kind of tea that I like with milk. I can palate like generic brands of tea, like Scottish blend or what have you, just because there is a very strong flavour there anyway. But I don't like my tea with milk generally. I tend to drink teas that taste of something. Like Earl Grey or Lady Grey, chai, Lapsang Souchong, And when you start adding things like milk and sugar, you start forcing the flavors to compete against each other. They don't work together, they compete. It's the same with cooking. Some things you don't put together because they'll distract the person from tasting either thing. They'll be fighting against each other, and it doesn't lead to a particularly nice experience. Right, we want a door now. Let's get some stone doors. We want at least one for the bedroom because that's an actual room. Oh, well done. You're using the wheelbarrow. I approve enormously. And remove ramps. Saralak, Avak, would putting maple syrup I made myself from the trees outside count as making my tea too sweet? It takes a whole week of cooking to make a batch. It could take a whole year to make a batch. If what you're making is sweet, then yes, it would make it too sweet. But the thing is, people often ask me, how should I drink tea? I don't know. You should drink tea in whatever way fills your heart with happiness. I drink my tea in this way. I don't have milk and I don't have sugar. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. If you want your tea to be flavoured with maple syrup, then by all means. If you want your tea to be flavoured with honey, by all means. If you want your tea to be flavoured by olive oil squeezed by a large, burly, cross-dressing fellow who works in a Soho on the weekends named Nigel, then by all means. I don't care how you drink your tea as long as you enjoy it and you're not hurting anyone. Well, even if you are hurting someone, I mean, it's tea. That's a very grey area. You're really making me conflicted about that. Hurt someone, enjoy tea. Would they, upon reflection, decide that you were right to hurt them in order to enjoy your tea? If so, then, I mean, I don't know. That's hard. Dark Havoc would totally hurt someone if it made his tea taste better. He enjoys tea made of tears.